Hi peeps, it's Nog.
And Ricardo.
And we are
Thinking Cube. We are Thinking Cube, a podcast created by Nog and Ricardo to talk about our journey into becoming better people.
We will talk about how to improve yourself, how to improve your relationships with your family, your friends, and others.
And just generally talking about how to live a more human life.
So in this episode, we're going to talk about, are you the owner of things, or are things the owner of you?
Yeah, nice wordplay.
Nice wordplay, huh?
Yeah.
You know, like I've been really want to talk about this topic because I feel like we live in a society where it's very normal to take in more things.
Yeah,
right?
It has been normalized, yeah.
Yeah, and
the consumer mindset.
Yeah, the consumer mindset. You know, I think a lot of the time you'll see like an ad on Instagram, for example, and it's like a jacket or coat or like a little dress or something like that.
Or
shoes, you know, that's super cheap, right? And it's like free shipping, order now, you know.
Ooh, love free shipping.
And you have a bunch of the same thing already, but you know you think that, hey, but it's cheap, you know, like you convinced yourself that you need this item. I'm sure that all of us are guilty in this case.
I'm definitely guilty of it.
Yeah, because it's so cheap and convenient to get, right?
Yeah, that makes me think of this one time when I was in college. I bought a TV in LA and I shipped it to Colorado because I wanted to have it with me, and I thought, yeah, you know, it was cheap. You know, it was only $300. I'm gonna
That's
get it.
That's not cheap. Are you crazy?
You think it's cheap?
No. How much?
You know, at the time, I thought it was cheap because I just had a lot of disposable income, and so what did I do? I disposed of it, just buying more shit.
No,
you remember?
Need it? Did you need it?
I did not need it.
Like, did your house in LA had like a TV already?
Yeah, my house in LA had a TV, so I thought.
Wait, but why did you buy it though? Like, you just walk in the store one day and get it, and then like didn't tell anybody that you bought this TV, or what?
I was with my mom.
Okay, so you were with your mom, and then you guys
we're
I'm gonna buy this
very
random
consumers. TV. Yeah, my mom same thing, buys just a bunch of things. Like now that I look back and I tell her Mom, stop buying so much little useless things from Wish. I don't know if you guys know about Wish, but it's this place where you can buy a lot of very cheap products. Usually from overseas, so they're super cheap. You know, they take a month to get to you. But my mom bought so many of these useless things, and once we were moving from our old apartment to our new apartment, I think she saw that. I think moving around makes you see how much shit you have.
Yeah.
And if you stayed in one single place and you haven't moved out, I'm pretty sure you've accumulated your
so
own pile of shit. Yeah. But what about you? I know you've moved around a lot. So you probably haven't accumulated as much as I have.
Yeah. I move around because I move around a lot. So actually all my stuff can be put in a suitcase.
Yeah, when I first met you, I found that it was so crazy. That you could literally fit everything in your room in a suitcase.
And that includes a yoga mat, by the way.
No, I was very shocked because in my second year of college, remember how much stuff I had in my room? You remember?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me.
Okay. I was you were shocked about my lifestyle, but I was even more shocked with your lifestyle.
Yeah.
I remember you had a popcorn machine and a microwave. Okay, we all had microwave in college in every single room already. But you had a special popcorn machine too.
Yeah.
I don't know what for though.
And I have an oven. Remember?
Oh, you have an oven too?
You don't remember? I had an oven that had a coffee machine and that had a top griddle thing to cook.
Yeah. So you had an oven in your room for what? When you had free food from
food. I had free food
from college and from the place you work at, right?
Yeah.
And then you had a popcorn machine, and a microwave, in a school that only sell microwavable popcorn.
Yeah.
They only sell microwavable popcorn, right?
Yeah.
They you couldn't get kettle corn.
I know. I had
anywhere.
to go out of my way to find some kettle corn.
Yeah. So why did you have a popcorn machine for, right? And then here's another one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You had I remember you had 20 different pairs of shoes. I remember there's soccer shoes, 2 different pair of soccer shoes, 3 different pair of winter boots, so 1 pair of trainers that you actually wear, and 1 actually pair of boots that you wear, and then
some flip-flops for the shower, some flip-flops to be around.
Yeah, flip-flops to be in the shower, flip-flops to be around. Just I don't know, that's already like 9, I counted, right? Like
Yeah.
literally, there's so many, you know?
Mhm.
And I was so like, that's so strange for me because I remember I had like one pair of Chucks, right? One pair of trainers and like one pair of boots and then one pair of shower shoes. That's it, you know, 4 pairs of stuff. And I really think that is like excessive, you know? Like I wouldn't even use, like I would, when I go home, I would like dump my sport shoes because I never wear them. You know what I mean? I only wear like my Chucks and my winter
And like
boots.
the winter boots, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
it's
it.
winter.
You know, and like
Yeah.
obviously the shower shoes because
Nah, you don't wear
college
Oh, yeah.
bathrooms. You know,
Ooh, you gotta put those
that's
on.
essential. Okay, you know. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the next thing, right?
Okay, what else? What
Here's
else
the
did I
next
have?
thing that I was like, this is ridiculous. You had a carpet on a carpeted floor. You know, like an
Yeah.
extra
Oh
carpet.
my god. I think that was like one of the silliest purchases I've ever made. You know, I think.
Is it like for cheap too? Like it was cheap.
I
when you
think it
got
was cheap, and me and my roommate, we were just like moved into, you know, to our room, and we were like, we're gonna make this place like cool. And then we ended up buying a carpet, you know, because like people tell you like, oh yeah, you have a bunch of space in the middle, put a carpet on it, you know, but the floor was carpeted, and like really, like literally, we you know, we buy it, we take it to our room, and then once we put it on the floor, we realize like, damn, this is basically the same color. You know, so like you couldn't even tell there was a carpet on the floor when you like first walked in, you know? You had to like look at it again and like, oh, what the fuck? You have a carpet on top of the carpet.
No, that's the thing, because I wouldn't even notice these things, but I had to help you pack, you know?
Oh my god.
And then I had to help you pack everything, all your shoes, all your winter coats, all your books that you literally don't read, you know, everything. I had to help you pack everything. And even that stupid carpet, I had to help you pack. So I remember like, why is there a carpet here? You know? Why is there a carpet on the floor when the floor is carpeted?
Yeah, honestly, very silly mistakes. I think I just had so much shit like that. Like, you know, I had a hammock underneath my bed.
And no, and you had like this like comforter or something for like sleeping on the floor underneath your bed too.
Yeah, and I had a comfort, on like at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, so like technically like your bed have 3 places that can be like slept in. You know? I don't get
You can
that.
sleep on the floor, you can sleep on the hammock, you can sleep on the bed.
Yeah. So you know,
A
like
whole bunk bed in there.
so you can be like shocked with my lifestyle, but I was shocked with your lifestyle. You know,
Yeah.
like actually like
Yeah, because I had like what, like 4, 5 big boxes of like you know, stuff like that I had to like pack.
You know
and, like,
that
worry
after,
about it. And, like,
after 1 year of college, I didn't leave anything behind. I had all my shit, you know, I just left like papers or like just random trash, you know?
yeah, you literally put everything in like one suitcase.
And then that's it. I love everything
Yeah,
home.
that's how I was like, what the fuck? Like, how could you live like this? You know, at the moment that's what I was thinking, like, how could you live like this? Are you crazy? What are you doing?
And like, you know, like I had, that's like a big suitcase, right? That can sustain me for a year. And by the way, I brought like a yoga mat. So that took a lot of space as well. And a ukulele, okay? Like that's essentials for me.
Essentials.
No, that's like my extra, you know? But like everything else I had wouldn't fit the suitcase. I had to bring like fun things with me so that it fits a suitcase, you know? Like that's already like extra for me. Yeah. But like, you know, like there was this time I was traveling in Europe and I had like, basically I was traveling for 1 month, right? And I only had one suitcase, you know, one like, not the big one, like the small one. You know, the carry-on
Oh, the
luggage.
carry-on luggage,
and
yeah.
I was like, I have all the things I need in there.
That was like enough.
That was enough for 1 month trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, like now I look back and I think like, man, I would have had such an easier time if I had lived like that. You know, like without so much excess, without like, you know, needing to have so many things to feel comfortable. You know, and because at the end of the day, right, like you.
Oh, I have another one.
Oh my god!
I have another one. Oh my
What
god,
else?
I have another
What
one.
else?
Okay, I remember that you bought a blanket. Or like you have bought like a special duvet, so it's super comfortable duvet. Remember, like a blanket cover, so it's super comfortable, right? And then on top of that, you had like 2 more blankets that you just stashed on the top shelf for some reason. I don't know. You remember you had like 2 more blankets?
Yeah.
I know that you had these 2 blankets because I still have one of that right now in my room. You know?
Oh yeah. No, I had duvet covers. Right, I had 2 pairs of those, and on top of that, I also had like a special blanket, and then on top of that, I also had like a smaller blanket, which is one that you have now.
Yeah. I don't get that.
Yeah.
And then like I remember that you couldn't go get your stuff afterwards after you like quit school.
Yeah.
And then all your stuff had to be sent to Watson.
Yeah.
It was sent to like my like second place, like my other place in Colorado.
Yeah.
Right. And my friends in Watson, they are really poor. they're really poor, And I gave some of them like a jacket, a winter jacket, because they're from like one of my friends, he's from Nepal, right? And like this is like his first time in like, no, actually not his first, like this is like his like first time like experiencing like this sort of cold, and he needs like a really like intense like winter jacket, right? And I just gave him one of your like one of your like winter jackets, basically.
Yeah.
And he was just so grateful about that.
Yeah.
Like he wore it every day. He was super grateful for like that because I think that like because when you own that jacket, I saw you wore it like 0 times.
Yeah, I think it was like too big for me and just never wore it, even though it was like very nice.
Yeah. So the moment I gave it to somebody who actually needed it, they wore it every day. They needed it. You know what I mean? We spend a lot of time like accumulating like stuff, right? It feels cluttered. Doesn't it feel cluttered for you?
It feels so cluttering, especially like I'm saying, in those moments where you have to move and you're forced to realize just how much shit you have, because sometimes like you get something and then you put it on the shelf and then you kind of like forget about it.
Yeah,
maybe
definitely.
like you gotta like take care of it, you gotta like dust it, you gotta make sure it's clean, make sure it's organized. But like you kind of put it in the back of your head, and then the time goes by and then you just like start having a bunch of shit, until you end up with like a big pile of shit.
Yeah.
And you're not forced to like really contemplate how much of that you have until then.
Because you just like you don't do anything with them.
Yeah.
But like when you give it away to actually like people who need it, like the things you have, like somebody is really needing it right now.
Yeah.
Like the jacket, like your jacket, right? Like literally my friend, he used it every day. He was so grateful to have it because he didn't have enough like warm clothes brought to Colorado. And you know how it gets in Colorado in winter,
cool. Yeah.
Like, it was so like, it was such a like an important gift for him, right? Whereas like, for you like don't even use it.
Yeah.
You never use it. It's too big for you. Just collecting dust on the shelf, right?
I think part of that is, this bad mentality I had where I went to college with some money because I had this like scholarship that like gave me, like $800 to like buy a bunch of things, to go to college. And because I had like so much disposable income, I just started buying like a bunch of, things that I didn't even need. But I thought like, oh, this would be nice. Like you make excuses for yourself.
Wait, I have
or
a
like, I
question.
need this.
Like, like that place, the program that you're in, that give you money, like do they raise money or like something?
They raise money. They have like donors.
Yeah. So like if you don't use it, it's going to be allocated to somebody else, right?
What do you mean?
I mean, if you like don't use your 800,
No, they like gave it to you like in a gift card.
Okay.
They just gave it to you in a gift card. Yeah. And I mean, I use
That's so wasteful,
most of it.
I feel like it would be better if, like, giving enough and then, when you use enough, you can allocate it to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the thing is like, even my brother, I taught him that, we will take enough only, right? He got into University of the People, and I told him like, like get a scholarship because I cannot pay for his entire tuition, but I told him like, don't get so much because I can pay more than he thinks, I can like take care of him more than he thinks, but there are other people who needs it more.
Yeah.
So like the fund that is given to him will be deducted from giving it to other people. You know what I mean? And there are other people who probably like need it more than he does. I can manage. It's not hard to find like to make a few $1,000 for school, right? But like, like for other people, maybe it's a big struggle, like it's a big struggle for them, So, like that's why I told him, like get some scholarship, but like, so that is like enough for us, but don't like be greedy and like trying to get so much that is, like taking other people's portion too. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I think that's important to like raise in people.
Yeah.
With that mentality.
Taking enough for yourself.
Taking enough.
And only enough,
Yeah, because right now I feel like for me at least, I lived always thinking that like I can always have more. It's rarely that you feel like, okay, this is enough. I don't need to buy another shirt. You usually think, maybe I can buy another shirt. Or like, oh, these are new shoes. Or like, oh, there's the new phone. I can buy the new phone. or like, oh, this is a faster laptop, I'm gonna buy the faster laptop.
Mhm.
You know, things like that. You know, and I think living with less, now that I live with less, I feel so much better.
Yeah, it is so much
It
better.
is so much better. You know, like I would try never to go back.
Yeah, like right now we only live with like 5 pairs of clothes and like a simple room, a simple house, you know, not like excessive. We don't even own a TV.
Yeah, we don't have TV.
We don't
You're
have
right. Yeah,
TV.
yeah, we don't have TV.
We have enough screens in the house already, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I think that we live in a really big house, and you know, I really don't like that, to be honest. But you
Yeah.
know, it's my work, you know.
Yeah.
It's my job. It's my job to stay here and take care of this place, right?
Mhm.
But you know, like if it's were to my choosing, I would rather live in like a little cottage or something, like a
Like
really
a small house.
Yeah.
You know, something that is like more manageable.
Yeah, because you know, I feel like I don't understand these dreams of like getting like mansions and stuff like that, you know?
Mhm.
Because like imagine cleaning it, you know?
Yeah. You know,
Imagine cleaning
yeah.
it, maintaining it, you know, all of these things.
Yeah.
Just so much.
Yeah, there is like so much more. You know, people think that like, oh, you know, I'm gonna buy a big house, you know, and like they just save all that money all the way to like buy that big house, you know, but then they forget like, you know, like once you buy that big house, then you're tied to it.
Yeah,
you know?
you're tied to it.
Then like, you know, you have to maintain it, you have to pay like property tax on it.
Yeah.
If you know, now you have to pay for security because it's bigger and like it's more
Mhm.
flashy. People are gonna be like, oh, you know, like maybe they'll be like more
And the thing
jealous.
is, like,
They'll try to rob it, you know, things
You
like
like
that.
this money, you gotta go and like make more of it. You gotta slave, you know, out there
You slave yourself.
to like make more money for
Yeah.
taking care of this house.
Yeah.
You know, that is like the house owning you.
Yeah.
Right?
The house owns you.
You know,
You're their house.
you're the house. You know, like these people saying like, oh, make your property work for you or whatever, right?
Mhm.
You know, that's the thing. You know, like I feel like if you buy a house and all of these things, you know, I think it's a good thing. But just thinking what is enough, like
Yeah.
buy what's enough. You know, because I don't think we live in a way that is like, you know, too little, right? We have a lot of things. You know,
Yeah.
I still have my yoga mats and
Yeah.
ukulele. You know.
Yeah, definitely we do have luxury.
Yeah, we do have luxury, right?
Yeah.
We have like, you know, an
we're
oven
very
and a
fortunate.
microwave, you know,
Like,
like a whole industrial kitchen and everything. But, you know, like we don't like accumulate, you know, things
yeah.
for like,
You
because
know,
it's cheap or something
I think
like
when I
that.
first came in here, I was still thinking a bit, you know, more and more.
Mhm.
You know, maybe I still do, right? Like you know, I'm still trying to work on that. But I remember this one time where you told me that the kitchen for this place was gonna be like, you know, like separate, you know, like in its own like house outside. Like you wouldn't be able to access the kitchen from within the house. And I thought like, damn, we need to get another fridge for the inside house. You know? Like even though we have like a fridge outside, I was like, you know what?
We have
Also
a
get
fridge,
a fridge
and a
inside.
freezer.
Yeah.
We have a fridge and a freezer.
You have a fridge and a freezer, yeah.
There's no need to like, what is an inside fridge
It's a
for,
fridge, you know, for like when you want a snack in the house.
Yeah. You know, that's the point, you know, like it's just, you know, we're living with
Yeah.
less. And it feels better because, you know, we waste less time chasing after, you know, our things. Right?
Yeah.
We waste less time being controlled by like our things to do things for it, maintain it, you know.
Keep them safe.
Keep them
you know.
safe, keep them like good and new and whatever, right? Because now like with our spare time, you know, we can ask ourselves like more important questions, like
Yeah.
you know, like truly, like, are we happy? You know, are we happy with the things we have? You know, what to do next? You know, what does our future looks like, and all of these things. Because I feel like, you know, the more connected you are to the external, the less connected you are to the internal.
Say that again?
The more connected you are.
The more connected you are to your internal,
No, the more connected you are to the external, the less connected you are to the internal.
then
Yeah.
yeah, I
You know?
agree with that.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
Because the more you chase after, like, you know, TVs and, you know, watching TV and, like, driving fancy cars and all of these things, the less you want to, like, know, like, inside, you know? Like,
The less time you spend working on yourself.
yeah, working on yourself. Like asking questions like, is this what I need? Is this what I really want? You know? Will
Yeah.
this make me happy? You know? You're just chasing, you know, the image of the flash, you know? You know, like, I feel like I heard this saying that it's like, from afar, it looks like diamond, you know, but when you get closer, it's a teardrop. You know what I mean? So from afar, it looks so flashy and beautiful, right? But the closer you are to it, you'll see that it only brings you sadness and suffering, and you know, no meaning or anything like that.
You know, I agree with that. You know, I can definitely speak to that because let me tell you, ever since I was young, I've always been very into smartphones. And I would, you know, like watch videos of them. I would watch reviews and I would read like articles. I would like know all the statistics and the specifications of the new phones coming out. I knew when they were coming out. If there was an event from Google, like I would watch it. If there was like an Apple event, I would watch it.
Nerd.
There was a Samsung event,
Nerd.
like I would like, yeah, honestly, but like I was like so into that, and even like people be like, oh, if anybody, needs to know about phones, just ask your card. And I'll be like, oh yeah, this and that, blah, 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 and, and that's when when I look back at it, that's when I think like, wow, like that took away so much of my like mental energy, because like that's what's in my mind, that's what I like spend my time on. That's what like I think about, instead of like thinking about like more important things, like did it help me knowing that like, the Samsung S3 had a 720p display with a Qualcomm 700
it doesn't make
something.
you like a better person
it doesn't.
anyway,
Exactly. Like your things don't make you better. My things didn't make me better. If anything, they made me worse, because then I spend too much time thinking about them and I don't think enough time thinking about like, hey, how am I? How are my feelings? How am I feeling today? Like, am I doing good? Am I doing bad? Do I have good friends? Do I have bad friends? Like, am I in a good position? I don't worry about those things because there's just so much stuff in front of you, and like you get entertained with those things, and then you forget to like ask yourself more important questions.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, and so like the less you have, the less things you're gonna have to distract yourself with, and you're gonna like look inside. Like you were saying. Say that quote again. Say that quote again.
The more connected you are to the external, the less connected you are to the internal.
Exactly. You see? So like if you have, if you have your phone, right? And like you're always on social media, right? And then you work and then you put it away and then you open your laptop and then you work a lot, then like, okay, I'm tired, and then you go and you watch TV on your big screen, and like, oh, like
you're in front of a screen the whole day.
You're in front of a screen the whole day, you'd never like do anything more, When are you going to like be thinking about, more important things, right?
I feel like, a lot of the time, people are scared of themselves. People are scared of facing themselves. And they're afraid of what they will see.
That's me.
That's you.
That's me.
Because I think that the first part of becoming a better person, and, improving your quality of life is to be honest with yourself, right? To be honest that, like maybe I'm not so good right now. Maybe, I'm not a great person. All of these like really bad things, on top of like, like our insecurities as well, right? Of course, like the bad things we've done plus our insecurities. All this really terrible thing that we have to face within ourselves. And we have to find the courage within us to face ourselves.
And a lot of the time we don't do it.
Yeah, because I think that, the external part, the TV, the phones, the stuff, chasing after, the dream of a big car, a big house and a fancy car and all this. It's just too easy, right? But the harder thing here, the most courageous thing here is, to, look within us and then see us for who we are, for not really special or like good people or anything like that, right? And then, like improve that and then, find happiness for that. That's so much more difficult than just chasing like external like factors, like chasing like, the fun things on the phone and all the new apps and all the new like technology and all of these things, because those things are easier and more entertaining and it's less hard work than actually like looking within,
And I think they also provide us with a distraction so that we don't have to face them.
Don't have to face it.
We don't have to face it. We don't have to, really come and have that conversation with ourselves. Like, damn, like I'm not doing good. Like I'm not, I've been a shitty person lately. Things like that. They keep us distracted.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but that's the thing, I think that it all like go away in the end, like it's not gonna be forever that you're gonna be able to like hide behind your stuff, right? You're never gonna be able to be like, always like entertained by things.
You'll have to face it one day or another.
Yeah, you gotta face yourself one day or another, because I think that nothing lasts forever.
Those things are going to go away. Like for me, for example, when I first got my smartphone, my high-end smartphone, and I really like was like, I loved it. I loved the, the status that it brought me. I love how like
the status,
like, because it was like,
look at you.
Yeah, I was like, look at this Pixel phone. Look at this, made by Google. First phone made by Google. Yeah, I was like very a Google fanboy back in the days. And it also brought me a lot of comfort. I used to like, watch movies and text people and like, do all these other things, like,
research other phones.
Research other phones, right? Like look at more videos of other phones. And, it was a good distraction for me to like not have to like, face those things, face those fears, and it distracted me from asking myself the questions, the important questions like, am I a good friend? Am I a good son? am I a good boyfriend? You know, like I don't ask myself
Not
these
really.
questions. I didn't ask myself these questions because, you know, I was so into that. I was putting all my mental energy, and because it was my first phone, I was super careful with it. I had to make sure that if somebody borrowed it, you know, they didn't borrow it for too long, and I had to like be there to watch them. You know, if my siblings
Nervously,
borrowed
you know?
it, yeah, nervously like, okay, you know, you done, you know, can I have it back now? You know, be careful, you know. Like I remember if my siblings used it, I was like, all right, but you have to be on top of the bed, you know, in case you drop it, you know.
Yeah.
Like very like silly things like that, you know. And so I was like wasting my effort into like, you know, taking care of it, you know, making sure that like you had a case on it, you know, that like, you know, the screen was clean, you know, that like, you know, like I said, if people borrow it, you know, just be like, oh, you know, be super careful, you know, like, you know, hold it correctly, you know, things like that. And, you know, for what? At the end of the day, those things don't matter. You know, it was just a distraction, and I wasn't even asking myself important questions like, you know, am I a good son? Am I a good boyfriend? Am I a good friend? You know, am I a good sibling? You know, and, you know,
Are you happy in life?
am I happy? Am I happy with what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the problem with having so much, that like they keep us distracted from it. You know, everything that comes into our life, everything goes away at some point. You know, all those distractions, at some point they will go away. You know, and then again, you're gonna be forced to face those questions. You're gonna be forced to face yourself, and you're gonna face your insecurities. You're gonna face your fears. You know, all those things that you put away with like your stuff, they're gonna come back. And I know this because that was me. That thing that I really love, my phone, was taken away at the end. I was walking my dog and I had my phone with me, and I was robbed at gunpoint when I was in El Salvador, you know, and they took my wallet, they took my phone, and, you know, my wallet, you know, like had some money, had my debit card, credit cards, had my green card even, you know, and I wasn't even so sad about like, you know, the wallet, the money, the credit cards, the debit cards, not even my green card, you know, even though it was like super expensive to replace it, because the one thing I was like so attached to was like this phone that when they took it away, when it was robbed, I feel so sad. I was like very heartbroken. I was like, what the hell? My phone.
Wait,
so sad.
Didn't you need like your green card to go back to the US?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you didn't
but like
care.
I didn't care, you know. I was like, man, what about my phone? And I was like just thinking like, oh my god, you know, this is gonna be a dream. This is gonna be, you know, this is not happening to me. Like, no way. Now I need my phone. You know, so heartbroken. Yeah.
Because, like, you know, like, it's just, you know, the things we have, they're just like an illusion of safety and comfort, right? Because, you know, we have these things, you know, they're going to be with us forever. You know, we have this house, we have this car, and they're going to sustain us, and we are comfortable and we are safe, you know?
And we never think they're going to go away.
Yeah, never.
Once we have them, we think like they're going to last forever.
Yeah.
And so we start depending on them.
Yeah, but that's the thing, you know, it doesn't work like that, right?
A house, you know, you go into an accident, you have to like put your house in a loan, and then you lose the house. You know, natural disaster can occur, and then like, you know, a hurricane wipes it, you know, or like
Anything
a
can
flood,
happen,
you know,
yeah.
anything can happen, you know.
Yeah, but, you know, because we think in a way that is so, you know, everything is so permanent when it's not. When we lose it, we're really sad. We're really disappointed, you know, and because we're so attached to the idea of like things are permanent, right? You know, because of that, you know, when we lose it, you know, it controls our feeling, you know, it is the owner of us, not the other way around, you know, because if you are the owner of something, right, and it goes away, you feel, you know what, it's fine, you know, like it's time for it to go, or like, you know, it has no control over you.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, it's the stuff that has control over you that is truly the owner of you, right? Yeah. So I feel like I think I learned my lesson like that, you know, because I've been living quite like minimalist since I was young, because that's how my family has raised me, you know, like living very minimal and having like enough, you know, not excessive, basically.
Yeah.
And, you know, like my parents have always like put more stress on education and experience more than like materialistic things, right? So, you know, like I always had like, you know, a suitcase of stuff, and that's enough to sustain me for like years, basically. You know, I can live out of my suitcase easily.
Crazy.
You know, anywhere I go, I only need one suitcase of stuff. And now even less, you know, now that I live much more, first of all, I think that I'm more grown, and I'm in an environment that's not so fancy, you know?
Mhm.
Because I feel like the most excessive I've been was in boarding school. I went to like a really fancy, like British, boarding school, Hogwarts style, with all this like balls and events and parties and soirees and, dinner with the principal and dinner with the bishop and all these things, right?
Mhm.
So, I had to have like really, like close that fit that
Of course,
like
you gotta like play the
environment.
part. You
Yeah,
gotta, like,
exactly.
dress accordingly.
I had to, fit in, right?
Yeah.
And I remember like I had so many things, and in the UK it's so cold, and being a girl and wearing like a skirt or dress in the winter
Mhm.
for like this event, you look beautiful, but it's cold as hell. Thinking back, I just feel like it's so extra and it's so like fancy and all of this, but it doesn't bring me any comfort. It's cold. I don't feel comfortable, right?
Mhm.
And now that I'm more grown, I have things that are more, comfortable. I'm in a setting that is more like I decide what setting I'm in. I decide, the clothes, the stuff I own, the things I have, and I really feel really kind of like bothered whenever we need to buy new things
Mhm.
because I feel I'm okay with what we have right now. And I prefer to make do with what I have right now, even though it might be a little bit of an inconvenience, rather than like getting a new thing and completely get rid of the old thing.
Yeah, because it's like wasteful. Then you
Yeah.
have to take care of another thing. You
Yeah,
have to clean
exactly.
another thing, organize another thing.
Yeah, like right now, like I have not my laptop is not so good. The battery doesn't work. I have to always like plug my computer in to make it work, right?
Yeah.
But I'd rather that because the screen works perfectly fine. I can make it work like really good, and it does everything I need it to do. Except for the part that I have to sit in the same spot all the time, right? And that's okay because the point of using a laptop is that you need to sit on the same spot all the time. Like I just need to fix the battery or replace it, and it's good as new. So I don't want to like waste money buying a completely new laptop when mine is perfectly fine, like perfectly fine. So I don't want to waste money and time researching to find a new laptop, waiting it for it to be delivered or going to get it or something like that for like replacing this laptop, which, I had to sell it or like do something with it. I don't want to like just throw it in the bin,
Yeah.
And, like it's just such a waste of time and effort and, like I just feel really bothered, like getting into something new because like it's another object that I have to take care of,
Now
And
that you're older, now you see the taxing effect of like owning a new thing.
yeah.
And
I'm
so,
very
like,
comfortable with like the old things already.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel the need for something new, and I feel like, like I really understand that quote that I said, like from afar, it looks like diamond, right? But when you get closer, it's actually a teardrop. Like from afar, those things look like a diamond, like, these brand called Shein and stuff. They sell like super cheap clothes and super cheap like jewelries and things, from afar, they look like oh so good and everything, but when you get closer, you know that the quality is terrible. When you actually ordered it, you think that the quality is terrible, that they exploit, workers and things like that, like,
to make it so cheap.
yeah, to make it so cheap.
And then, people throw them away and then, they end up, in the environment and like what,
And,
it's
because
more waste.
that mentality is making our society worse. I think that's a very kind of like consumerism and like capitalism mindset, right?
Yeah.
That I feel like we need to break out of.
Yeah. We have to, and I think a lot of people, me included, want to move away from like this like capitalism, consumerism, but we can't, like we happily like post things online about like Jeff Bezos is evil, and then, there we are happily living with our Amazon Prime account, like, oh, Tuesday shipping,
Tuesday shipping.
and it's like, we try to be better, but we don't do the work for it. We're like happily living in this comfort that provides us with an excuse to having to look at ourselves, But once you look close enough, you'll realize, right, that those things that shine, they're not diamonds.
Yeah.
They're tears.
Yeah. I think that, we're coming to an end. And for the listeners, I think there are a few things I want them to take away.
Yeah,
right?
Tell us.
So first of all, I think that, it's a quote,
The quote, come on, we'll say it one more time.
The more connected you are to the external, the less connected you are to the internal. That's the most important thing, right? And
remember, those external things are not going to bring you happiness. Your internal will bring you happiness. Those external things are not forever.
Yeah.
They're always going to disappear.
change,
They're gonna change. They're gonna go away.
They are temporary.
Don't depend on them.
And they will go away at some point. Yeah.
They always will.
Always will. And minimalism and living with less is not about
a number.
It's not about a number, and it's not about like depriving yourself of stuff, But it's about knowing when it's enough.
That's it.
That's it.
Just know when it's enough, okay?
Yeah, know when it's enough.
I'll definitely will keep thinking of that.
Yeah. I think we need to, in our daily lives, we need to see like what we have and thinking like, do we really need this? And I think that I think that I would really prefer that, the things that we don't really need, we can donate it to somebody who actually need it. Because, I live in, like right now, we both live in, the rural area of Vietnam, and people don't have anything. We are super wealthy compared to them.
Yeah.
They live in a little cottage with one bed and one table.
Yeah.
So, I know that when I give something away, when we give clothes away or something like that, people love it because they need those things.
You're going to be as happy as your friend from Nepal when he got a coat.
Yeah, exactly. So, when we don't need something, we give it away.
Yeah.
Or when you give your shoes away to that homeless man.
Yeah, that one time when I was coming to Vietnam and I was getting rid of so much of my stuff, I didn't want to just throw it away. And instead I donated it. You suggest, hey, just donate it.
Yeah.
And there was this homeless guy living across from me and I gave it to him. And I think it was a humbling experience because, I was living with so much, and that's when I realized it. And I give it to him, I donate it to him. And I told him hey, I don't know if this will fit you, but, and then he finishes the sentence yeah, I'll know people and I'll give it to them, and I thought this guy doesn't have a lot, he only has a few things, right? But he is already thinking that
of sharing.
of sharing what little he has with others, and that, I took that away with me, and I still think about if somebody who has nothing can share with others, why can't I that have so much, right? And it makes me feel better, it made me feel better.
That's the thing, because, when the moment you do things like that, you feel really happy that other people benefit from you having a bit less, right? Because, even when I told my brother, hey, don't apply for so much scholarship, because, maybe I need to work a little bit harder to pay for his tuition. But, in the end of the day, I feel really willing to do that. Because, why? Because some other people is benefiting from our kindness and our goodness, And I feel that's much more important than, we actually get him to have 100% scholarship or something like that.
I agree.
And that's right, I was reading.
All right. This is the end of the episode, all right?
Yeah.
I hope you guys liked it. And, please go and like our Instagram and follow us on social media. We are at thinking.cube and we are on
Spotify.
Apple Podcast, YouTube, everywhere.
Spotify.
Okay. Spotify.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget to
Keep thinking cube.